Learning Chinese is more than learning a language, said Juliet Thomas, a 62-year-old entrepreneur of a U.S. publishing company. Inspired by her grandmother's cherished book about China, Juliet embarked on her magical journey from language learning to cultural exploration.
This book of China she had was very precious. And so I would sit on her lap and we would read this book. So from very, very young age, 3, maybe 4 years old, I was fascinated by China. And she would always tell me when I grow up, I should be able to go to China.
Her dream of visiting China took root ever since and finally materialized in 2009 when her husband was invited to attend a conference in Beijing.
My husband was speaking at a conference in Beijing. He was a keynote speaker, and so he brought me along. And it was absolutely magical. It was my birthday, and the whole conference sang happy birthday to me in Chinese, and I was in love.
Following another memorable trip to China in 2012, Juliet started her formal Chinese language study guided by a native Chinese tutor.
We went back in 2012 and had a wonderful time. And so my husband for Christmas that year bought me time with Li Laoshi, and that's how I started learning the language. And once I started learning the language, it was fascinating. I love characters. She introduced them to me in such a wonderful way of understanding the components of them and the meanings behind the components. It's fascinating to me.
With the help of several Chinese learning apps and social media accounts, Juliet enriches her Chinese study through a 3-hour weekly class at a local university and works closely with her current Chinese teacher.
My current teacher lives in Yunnan, Beijing, and he is very different from Li Laoshi, who's Shanghai-ren. There's more and more apps on the phone. There's more and more classes around. I can find more books. Online has really helped.
Reflecting on her past decade's experience, Juliet said that learning Chinese is more than learning a language.
It's a benefit to see the world from a different perspective. And that I think is so important right now, to be able to see things through other people's eyes. I feel like the benefit comes from the journey of learning, not necessarily how good you get in the end. I think the world would be a much better place if people felt like they understood Chinese and Chinese people